When I found these, I had no clue what I had found. I just could not figure out what they were, and no one could give me an answer. There's something magical about finding these stones on the beach at night in the dark. There really is, and it's hard to explain. You can't capture it on video, you can't capture it with a picture. You have to do it in person. We think you have something that's never been found in Michigan before. Rock collecting, that'd be for my dad, Ray Rintamaki. He started me off on the beach as soon as I was a couple weeks old, taking me out to the beach looking for rocks. I still have my very first rock I've ever found. My mom painted it, put my name on the top, and put Eric's first trip to the beach with Dad on the back. So I still have the very first rock I ever found. And I grew up on the beach. As soon as the ice would start melting in the springtime, my dad would take me and my brother and my sister, we'd all be heading out to the beach every opportunity. It's gotten harder and harder and harder to find agates, Lake Superior agates, with everybody going out hunting. And I figured if I go out with a black light, maybe I can find an easier way to find agates, or maybe I could find agates at night. I end up buying one little light. I went out 3 times, didn't find anything. On my 4th time, I was on my hands and knees, literally like inches away from the beach, and found 3 in a circle about 2 feet around. And start woohooing and yipping on the beach, not having a clue what I found. I went home, I got on Google, searched all Google images for fluorescent minerals, couldn't find anything that looked like them. I went on Facebook to the fluorescent mineral page and posted a bunch of pictures, took them to rock shows. I couldn't find anything, and I just could not figure out what they were. And no one could give me an answer. I just came up with a name for them. I wanted something that represented where they're from and what they do. So I wanted Yooper for where they're from, the UP, and then light is what they do, they light up, so Yooperlite. And it stuck. I started selling them as Yooperlites, and I had a couple of gentlemen, Kelly Laughlin and Sean Carlson, bought some stones for me.
That happened on Facebook, how we got a hold of each other.
They messaged me and said, hey, we think you have something that's never been found in Michigan before. Do you mind if we do some testing and do a study on these stones?
He explained about this rock that he had just recently found, and it all kind of blossomed from that point.
I had initially sent some off to my friend in California. He just did basically an eyeball test. He didn't do any actual physical testing on the stones, but he said he believed they were cyanites rich in fluorescent sodalite.
Eric had thought that they might be sodalite, but he wasn't positive. And I had access to the resources to definitely find out for sure. Because I have friend of mine, Sean, working with the Michigan Mineralogy Project, I was pretty familiar with what had been located in Michigan before, and I was sure sodalite hadn't been. So, thinking that this might have been a new discovery for the state of Michigan, I brought it up to Sean Carlson's attention, who was working on that project.
And Eric had found these glowing rocks, these rocks that fluorescent or ultraviolet or black light on the shores of Lake Superior. He did not know what these things were, so he brought them to Kelly's attention, and Kelly brought them to my attention and said, could you please analyze this material and find out what it is? I brought the samples to my laboratory and did some basic testing, and the basic analysis looked like sodalite. So I brought the samples to Michigan Tech to use their scanning electron microscope and confirmed that the material was indeed sodalite.
It's the sodalite is what's lighting up.
It's a mineral that was first discovered in Greenland in the 1880s. Usually it's a beautiful blue color. It is used as a gemstone or an ornamental stone.
Sodalite is a silicate mineral. It's basically a sodium aluminum silicate with some chlorine and sulfur. It's a fairly common mineral worldwide.
Sodalite has been found in many other places around the earth, Afghanistan, Greenland, Canada.
I think in the United States there's like 18 different states where you can find sodalite.
But this is the first time that sodalite's ever been found in Michigan. What they believe is that these stones got brought down from Canada with the glaciers.
It was brought down from the Canadian Shield by glaciers during the ice ages.
People have found them on Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, Lake Huron, Lake Superior. So anywhere the glaciers went, they brought these stones. All over the world. Absolutely every country in the world I've sent stones to. If they're big enough, I'll make a sphere out of them. I start them off on a grinder. I'll grind them by hand as close to a sphere shape as I can, perfect circle. And then I'll throw them in the sphere machine, make them perfect at 220, and then I hand polish all of them from there. This will all be excess. I'll just keep this section here. But I always check it with the light to make sure it has a nice pattern through it before we start. And then once I've got that square chunk cut out, I take the corners off and then grind it by hand as close to a sphere as I can, and then I put it in the sphere machine, let it do its magic and make it into a perfect sphere. I also cut slabs out and cut the shape of the UP or the shape of Michigan or the shape of Lake Superior and sell those. I've made cabochons for jewelry, beads, all sorts of stuff with them. Anything I can do out of stone, I can do with those.
When Eric first made the discovery of Yooperlites, he was posting a little bit on Facebook about it, and I caught wind of it, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and messaged him on Facebook and let him know about my interest in lapidary work and such. And he invited me right up to come up and start working in the garage with him, start teaching me lapidary work, how to buy and find good equipment and the things I'd need for the, the type of work I'm doing, like building these knives that I do. So I'll take some of the bigger stones I get, anything, maybe 2 pounds on up, bigger stones, I will slab cut on my slab saw at whatever thickness I desire for whatever knife I'm doing, and then I can literally lay the knife right on the thing, trace this out on the slab, and then I will trim cut it and glue it to this. And after I've glued them onto the knife, I bring them here, then I fine tune them, work them down on the diamond wheels and such, and make them into beautiful knives. Very cool. And they fetch a good penny. It's kind of nice to be able to pass them along, like that after I make them, and people enjoy my work. And I enjoy doing it. It's like a labor of love,
Slow is the way to go. Take a couple steps, look, take a couple steps, look, and every time I find one, I'll do a 360. So that way, the ones that I stepped over on the way to get the one I saw, I'll pick those up too.
Okay.
But lights make a big difference, and then proper technique makes a big difference. I started doing night picking tours about a year ago. This year, the tours that I was doing, it was $50 per person, included a light and all the stones you find, and I would take you out agate picking beforehand if you wanted. If not, we just do the night picking part. But I guaranteed everybody found stones, and every single person I've found, no matter where we've went, has found Yooperlites on their own, unassisted, every time. I just want you guys to try both. To find Yooperlites, well, I recommend a few things. First is glow sticks or something to mark your way back because you do this in the dark, it's not during the daytime. Number 2 is good lighting. Using proper lighting and proper technique, you'll find 10 times more stones than everyone else. Stand up straight. A lot of people hold the light like they would hold a regular flashlight, and that's not the way you want to do it. You want to hold it up about eye level and look out 10 to 12 feet in front of you, not looking straight down. Because when you're looking straight down, instead of using this wide of a beam, you're using this wide of a beam. When you find a stone, you take it. It's in the pack. You don't have to take your backpack off constantly.
Oh my.
Ah, see here, look at the waves here. Yeah, much better. See, yeah, we can deal with this. We just gotta find a place to park over here, and then it's game on. What I do is every time I find one, I stop and I do a 360. So I look exactly where I just walked, and a lot of times I walked over 3 or 4 of them to get to the one that I saw, but I couldn't see him going in the direction I was walking. So I always find them on the way down the beach, and on the way back we always find stones in both directions because they're hidden. And a lot of these stones are buried, they're not just sitting right on top. Go slow. When you think you're going too slow, slow down. That's one of my big things. Everybody goes way too fast. If you slow down and just stop, look for 10, 15 seconds in every direction, take 3 steps and do it again. Look almost straight down. Up a little bit. See it? You're looking for a little flash of orange, and when you see that flash, just stop. Get your light on it good, go over and pick it up. I try to go one-on-one with each person. I try to learn their story, tell them my story, how I found Yooperlites, and try to tell them about the magic of these stones. I'll see a Yooperlite 20 feet up the beach, I'll shine a light on it, I'll get it so they see it, and then they find one, and then I get them finding them on their own, and then I go to the next person. I learn their story, I tell them my story again, and that way I connect with each person on my tour, and then after my tour I consider everyone my friend. You know what I mean? I'll remember them for the rest of their life, I'll remember their story, I'll remember where they're from, you know. So I've made a lot of really good friends doing this stuff.
There it is. Wow, that one's gorgeous. Yeah. There's little flecks of blue in there, or is that something else?
A lady got a hold of me, and we had about, I don't know, 15, 20 people from her group. We went out to the mouth of the Two-Hearted River, and I took them out for a agate picking excursion during the day, and then we did Yooperlite picking at night. Well, I asked everyone in the group if they minded if I filmed someone finding their first one right before dark so I could put it up on my Facebook page. So I get my phone out and take this video, and I posted it the next morning at 4:30 in the morning-ish, and within a day it had over 3,000 views just on Facebook, so I knew there was something to it. and within a couple of weeks it had 50,000 views, and now it's had tens of millions of views around the world. It's just spread like wildfire. And that video has propelled Yooperlites into the stratosphere. And so now it's been in Japan, it's been in Australia, it's been in Germany. WeChat in China picked it up. It was the #3 story on Reddit, the #3 website in the world for a week or so. And there was one day on Reddit it had over 1 million hits, just in one day. So it's been pretty crazy. So then the interviews and everything else have came from everywhere. I've done ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, the Detroit Free Press, the Detroit News, USA Today, Forbes magazine. It's been a crazy wild ride.
Oh, right there. Oh.
Everybody's reaction is the same as mine was the first time. Everybody does a whoop or a yoo-hoo or jumps up and down or screams or has some kind of reaction. Almost every person I take just is super enthused and just has the greatest time.
When you shine that light on there and then people see that and their eyes light up and their expressions change, and I mean, it feels good to know that, somebody else is enjoying the same thing you take a serious passion in. It's fun. It's fun. It's sharing the passion, I think, mostly.
I think what he's really accomplished more than anything else is he has really brought an interest into the rock collecting hobby.
Over the years, I've discovered about 49 or 50 mineral species that are new to the state of Michigan. Right now, we're at about 390 minerals, which is the total number of species known to exist in Michigan. Adding sodalite to the list, it just adds one more mineral to the list. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but Michigan's mineralogy has been pretty well studied at this point. So, anytime anybody can find 1 or 2 minerals new to our state, that's a big deal.
Well, I do it because I love rocks. I always have. I've been an agate vendor for doing like agate shows and stuff for the last 5 or 6 years. And I've become pretty well known for doing lapidary work. And this just kind of took something that was a hobby into something that can be an actual living for me.
Like this, you use it like an extension of your eye, wherever you're
Having a passion for this has really turned into a business for me. And that's what I love about it the most. It's turning into doing something I love.
One always hopes that things like this will introduce a new generation of especially young kids, into rock and mineral collecting and earth science.
They're the future scientists, and it's really good to get them hooked as soon as we can. I think it's great because of the coverage that it's gotten, and it's probably going to help bring a lot of people come up here and look for agates, and I think that's going to hook those people as maybe some more to come up here and look for Yooperlites and find out there's agates and copper and everything else to look for.
Anytime a story like Eric Rintomaki's Yooperlite story comes along and captivates the public and gets people that otherwise would not know or care anything about earth science interested in earth science, that's invaluable.
People have asked me, why did I tell everybody about it? Why didn't I just keep it a secret and find these stones for 10 years and stash them in my garage and then tell everybody? And I'm just not like that. I've met so many cool people. I have so many new friends, so many great opportunities in my business, and just personally, just because of this, it's been fantastic.